Hello, welcome to T&D Video Games. This is the store tour for May 2023. What I'm going to do in this tour is give a brief overview of the store, and I'm going to go into depth with some of our higher end and more expensive items in our display cases and display cabinet. I'll start over here behind the counter. We have our boxed games, boxed Super Nintendo, N64, NES, boxed GBA. We have a lot of our higher end Sega CD, Sega Saturn, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis is up there as well, plus some boxed consoles, accessories, and collector's editions. Over here we have all of our consoles. All of our consoles are tested and come with at least one controller. Some of them come with memory cards if they require them, like the GameCube or PS2, for example. We also have some boxed Wii U's at the top there. Over here we have some more boxed consoles, and going down we have our PSP and PS2 section. Next we have a wall of controllers for the Wii, the GameCube, a few Switch items as well. Sega Genesis games complete at the top, some Super Nintendo games, N64 games. Both sections are very popular right now. Super Nintendo and N64, definitely very popular. And we have loose Genesis, some Sega Master System, and a few more Sega Genesis games there. We have a bin where we usually put any guitars or longer accessories there, and we have a small bin of Skylanders at the bottom. We have a wall of N64 controllers as well. Lots of different colors in stock right now. Super Nintendo and NES controllers at the bottom. Next we have the Mighty Wii section, one of the biggest sections in the store. There were so many games for the Wii, lots of good games. We have our Wii U, DS, 3DS, and then manuals at the bottom here. Next we have controllers for the PS4, PS3, PS2, and PS1. We have a lot of loose disc games in our store. These sell very well. We restock these regularly. It's a great way to play games at a discount. Sega Game Gear games, and then some miscellaneous accessories for Nintendo and other items. After that, we have our NES section, some CIB at the top there, the Tengen carts, and then all of the gray carts. It's always a very colorful section. Personally, I love looking at the NES section. Over here we have our Xbox One, PS4, PS5, and PS3. And at the bottom we have some magazines and guides. I'm going to skip over the display case for now because I'm going to come back to it. We have our 360 section. It's quite tall. There were so many 360 games. Goes right to the bottom there. And 360 controllers and Xbox One controllers are just along the side there. Collector's editions, special editions, boxed consoles, just a whole bunch of items, larger items. A few items for the Wii. We've got some completed box Wii here, completed box GameCube, and then at the very top we have a lot of empty boxes. We've got the portal gun right there, and some more empty boxes, and a couple of these are actually complete up there. What I'm going to do now is go over our display cases. We have our display case here, our small display case here, and our large display case here. I'm going to start with the tall one. So I've opened it up to show you. We have Wii U and Wii at the top. A lot of these games here are actually sealed. Next we have our Switch. So we've got a lot of good titles for Switch right now, which is wonderful. And that goes down here. Any of these big box items are collector's editions. A few more back there. We have Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, both complete in the box, and both are in excellent shape. And this is a PS4 SCUF controller. Here we have some more expensive PS4 and PS3, including Painkiller, which we just got in last weekend, a very hard to find PS3 game. Some more collector's editions, PS Vita. Down here we have our PS2. And finally, More PS2 down here. Bunch more collector's editions. Larger items go at the bottom here. And we have our Xbox 360 and OG Xbox. So that is our display case. Next we have the small display case. We have our loose 3DS and loose DS games here. A lot of very good ones, including a lot of Pokemon games. We have our complete in-box DS games here and 3DS games. Over here we have our higher end GameCube. Goes right to the back there. And higher end PS1. Anything that's priced over $40 is typically going to be in our display cases. The other GameCube games are down here, and PS1 down there. We also have 2 bins of Amiibos. In the large display case, we have our higher end NES. A lot of rare titles in the store right now, which is awesome. We have our Sega Genesis games and N64 games. Finally, on the bottom here, we have our higher end Super Nintendo. A lot of really good titles in here, including 2 copies of Hagane, which are right at the back there. At the top, we have a small bin of Game Boy games, and then Game Boy Color. And going across the top, we have Game Boy and GBA, and then memory cards, expansion packs, and items like that. Behind the cache, we have some other items, including a PlayStation TV, a 32X, a Sega Nomad, some statues, some boxed consoles here. We have some higher end PSP over here, TurboGrafx, and Sega Dreamcast. These are our boxed N64, Super Nintendo, and NES games there. We also have some boxed Game Boy and GBA and GB Color games up there. A few more Super Nintendo games there. These are 32X games. These are custom cases that were made, which is really nice because they don't have end labels, so they're actually much easier to display like that. Some Genesis here, some more Genesis there, and Master System, CD, and Saturn, which I showed at the beginning. So that is your store tour for May 2023. Thanks for watching.